Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It's Francesco here. So in this video what we're going to do is take some time to look at Bear and Evernote. Now a lot of you guys have been watching the channel and have seen the evolution of both of these applications. So what we're going to do in today's video is focus on both of them. We're going to look at the pros, the cons, and also summarize with some thoughts on how you could be using them across your day. So let's kick everything off with a bit of background summary to some of these. Bear is more of a recent application. It launched in late 2016 and its real intention was to try and be a blend between a note-taking application and a writer application. Now it's been very successful, it's won a top Apple award and it's actually been very popular with a lot of people moving from Evernote over to Bear. Now Evernote has been a note-taking application that's been around for a fair while now. It's probably about 10 years old and actually has some real infrastructure to it and a ton of features. Now Evernote is still highly regarded as one of the top note-taking applications for all of its functions and all of its setup. So let's start by looking at some of the pros of each of these. Let's start with looking at Bear. Now a lot of people like Bear because of its simple distraction-free design. It really takes all of the noise out of the design and basically just bring everything into one seamless application. So the one thing you have with Bear is you have access to strong styling and markdown abilities. Now this really gives you some strengths in terms of being able to create really raw notes on the go and actually having this sort of HTML sort of markdown abilities when you're creating notes. It also has a smart way to organize your notes using hashtags. Now hashtags are basically notebooks and you'll create them on the left hand side panel. This basically helps you organize all of the notes and allow you to store two notes inside of one notebook or actually have a note having two notebooks, which is quite efficient. Now a lot of people are liking Bear at the moment because of its responsiveness, but a lot of people have commented on how well it's priced. At the moment the cost of 1 year premium is about $15, which is quite cheap. And if you want to go monthly, it's only about $150 a month. Moving on to Evernote, some of the pros of the Evernote are really the strong infrastructure. A lot of people head to Evernote because they know it's a strong company and it has a long reputation inside of the market, so it has the ability to store and back up your items really efficiently. It's also available on a lot of devices too, so you actually aren't missing out if you've got an Android phone or you aren't missing out if you've got a Windows device. They've also got a range of strong features, everything from editing PDFs to actually being able to voice record notes, which is quite strong, so their feature set is really good. Let's start with Evernote. So Evernote's pricing is regarded as very high. In mid-2016 they actually boosted the prices and the premium and plus accounts are a lot more than they used to. Now although this £10 to £20 difference really doesn't seem that much, this has actually affected a lot of users. Evernote also have had this long-standing issue with bloated features. Now a lot of the users have had issues finding features, and especially when people were talking about Evernote as such a great application, when people get on they sort of get confused and leave the service. Now Evernote have tried to address this with the onboarding, but still there is a lot of features and it's trying to squeeze that all into one application. Now if you're using the free service, Evernote has limited that to 2 devices, so you're only allowed to store Evernote on 2 devices. Now this is okay if you're using something like an iPhone and a Mac and that's all, but if you want to add it to something like an iPad or something else like a Windows computer, then you're going to have to upgrade. Now Evernote has also been regarded in the last few years with some design issues. Many people have commented on how its design is not very consistent across the board, especially with the Android and also the Windows devices, especially with the new iOS update. So let's jump over to some of the cons of using Bear. Now one of the things that many people mention when they start out is despite the low pricing, many people can't sync between devices. Now this is because Bear limits you to each device. So for example, if you downloaded a free version on Mac and iOS, they wouldn't communicate with each other, they'd store locally. Now there's a comment that Bear is not available on Android or Windows as well, which is quite depressing because a lot of those users are seeing the experience of Bear and really want it. Now Bear also lacks the ability to store outside of iCloud, so if you're looking to store using Google Drive or maybe even Dropbox, that's not a possibility at the moment. Now I'm sure they're looking to expand this, but at the moment you're only limited just to what you have on iCloud. Now just jumping into some of the specifics that Bear has that is quite impressive is its word count feature. So along the side you can actually click the information and see exactly how many words you're going into each one, which is great, which is supported nicely by the rich Markdown editing abilities as well. Inside of Bear you can also format links and add hashtags quite easily to help you organise notes. Now you've also got custom themes as well in Pro, which is quite nice and makes a bit of a change from Evernote. Now the exporting elements are some of the best features because you can actually send PDFs as you finish them, which is something that Evernote struggles to do. Now when it comes to Evernote, you've also got the ability to organise notebooks. I really like this. Notebooks are fundamental to some organisation systems, and actually having a structured system is nice. You've also got tags inside of Evernote, so you have the ability to tag something and go a bit deeper, and you also have the ability to colour those tags too, only available on Windows. Now a lot of people like Evernote because of its availability on a lot of devices, and that's something that really resonates with a lot of users. Now jumping over to some of the opportunities that both of these apps have, so if you're looking long term and you want to jump into one of these applications, now Evernote is obviously adding new overhaul of design. They've just introduced a new iOS version and they should be rolling this out across the board. Now Evernote have a much larger team of about 300 people. Now they have a growing feature range, and I do think that they're going to be adding a lot more features to the service despite its already bloated experience. Now one of the benefits to Evernote is the many features are embedded into one app, so if you are a pro user there are some real benefits to actually sticking with this service, because once you understand it, once you know what all the features are and you keep updated, then it pays off because you have the knowledge of this one application. Now when you jump over to Bear, they have a lot of stuff going for it, especially as a brand new company. Now you can integrate them with different services. I know Airmail is one of the first services to integrate Bear, and I feel like they're going to add a lot more integration soon. This means you can connect it to services like your email, your task inbox, and other items that help you with your productivity. Now in terms of user acquisition, it's much higher at the moment due to its simplicity. A lot of people see Evernote as a very complicated service, and Bear has a lot more users coming on board, which is really positive for the product expansion. So when it comes to use cases of Bear and Evernote, I would suggest that many people who are looking for a casual note taker who enjoy using writer applications, so things like iWriter, and want to convert into an organisation system alongside that they try out Bear. Now Bear is definitely not up to scratch with Evernote's real infrastructure functions. It's really a light version of Evernote at the moment. So one thing you need to do is make sure that if you're going to jump over to Bear, that you're comfortable with it, that you're not going to be missing out on some of the features that Evernote has. Now when it comes to Evernote, I recommend this really for professionals or individuals looking to seriously organise themselves. Not that Bear won't seriously organise you, but more for heavy document and folder organisation. I think that it follows many of the GTD rules, so you have more structure to your setup. Now when it comes to the thoughts on both of these applications, I think the fight will be in 2017. Now Evernote is gearing up for a total update with more work on their team and improving that, and Bear is looking to prepare to build layers on side of this application, which make it really, really exciting for any future activities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to renew a video in about mid-2017 to summarise what the progress is between these two applications. Now I recommend downloading them both and using them in tandem because it might take a little while for you to choose the perfect application, but I think that Bear has a lot going for it, and so does Evernote at the moment, especially with its renewal of staff and also infrastructure as well. So thank you very much for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed it and found some value in this video, please do like this video. If you haven't yet, do subscribe, and if you have any comments regarding any of the features specifically in between Bear and Evernote, just add them in the comments. Or if you want a faster reaction or get involved with the community, just tweet me at Francesco_D_. A-L-E-S. Anyway guys, make sure to have a great week, keep productive, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Cheers.